Hello and welcome to 1980 Cadillac DeVille. A little status update on the car. You might notice she's gotten a lot more taken apart than before last time. I'm pretty lucky because usually this vinyl stuff gets all warped. Like, for example, right there. And especially noticeable here. I've used some magic bracketry to try and help that out, and it's made it a lot better. It used to be nearly an inch gap between the end of this vinyl's all depressed, but I can't help it. Oh, you noticed the mirror control. Yeah, that broke. Well, actually the part that says mirror fell off because there's only two little tabs, one on each end of the square, that hold it on. They're very fragile, and sure enough, same thing happened with the defog, but only difference was I've put it back together. The original radio, unfortunately, had been removed from the vehicle. Before I bought the car, I removed the radio and ended up selling it before I actually realized just how expensive the original radios are. At least $100 on Evil Base. So I've been hunting around junkyards trying to find one cheap. In my area, even not so much in my area. I almost traveled to the state above me just to find one, and no luck. I found a Sears aftermarket radio that fits perfectly in here. It looks beautiful. It's all chromy. It's not perfect for the car, but it's there, and it doesn't work. The potentiometer, yeah, that broke, and it won't. It'll move the volume, but it won't turn on and off. It's stuck off. Anyways, I found this for free. It says $4, but I actually got it for free. It's just an AC Delco AM/FM radio. You know, you got your buttons here that do the things. It is presumed working. Even if it isn't, I sure as heck hope I can fix it, because at least the potentiometer that turns it on and off seems to work. This doesn't fit because, well, this silver box with, you know, that surrounds it, that would fit in that gap I just showed you. You know, it won't, is this black plastic. And since these threads, they don't stick out far enough, I can't just set it against, you know, I can't just have this exposed and this black plastic hidden, because the radio doesn't poke out far enough to where I can thread a nut onto each one of those. And since that's the only thing that holds in the radio, you know, it won't work unless I modify this plastic somehow, and that is a big task. I don't want to, you know, it's original. People look for these sometimes. I might try and file off some of the plastic on the back here so this whole unit sits closer to the radio body. That way, you know, the threads will be exposed a little more on this. The point is it needs some work, and I can't figure it out. And OEM radios are too expensive for this car. Here's that mirror thing. Okay, bigger problems now. One, the slider for this vent broken. The washers for the wipers do not work, and it's not the little solenoid that actuates the mechanism on these, because those always fail. What's actually the problem is it does not get voltage. This switch or something is not allowing it to get voltage. That's why it's out. And by the way, another superb thing that Cadillac and I assume GM did at the time, light bulbs in these plastic, they melt the plastic. And actually that's really evident on this mirror thing. Could you tell where the light bulb is? Yeah. That's very common on these, and it gets worse and worse as time progresses. I've seen, like I saw DeVille for sale, where the climate control here and the rear defog here just completely warped and disgusting. It looked awful, and it's not super uncommon either, especially night driving, because if you've got the headlights on, you know, the interior lights are on, there's a culprit. Speaking of light, I don't know if you can see it on there. You probably can't, but the marker lights aren't coming on. And the cornering lights, you can see the blinker, but the cornering light isn't coming on either, which should, when the when the markers are on. So yeah, my markers, my parks, and the cornering lights do not work in the front. In the rear, the marker lights work, but the fronts, no. Every light bulb I checked and replaced even. Even the good ones I replaced. There were no bad ones, and it's still not working. Oh yeah, the cruise control stopped working. That's cool. It worked before, but it doesn't anymore. And yes, that is about everything that I can think of off the top of my head that doesn't work in the Cadillac. When I first bought it, the only things wrong were brakes and a valve cover gasket, both of which have been fixed. So that's great. I'm probably not going to post this to